The Chairman and Managing Director of Magarpatta Township Development and Constructions Limited is going to be moderating the session. He's well known. He has been a trendsetter, pioneer. As we said, we all know about his Magarpatta Township, which has been an example towards social inclusion, financial inclusion, through policy inclusion. We have our eminent speakers, Mr. Hemal Mehta, the partner and leader, Real Estate Deloitte India. And to welcome him here, I would like to request and invite Mr. Sharif Memon from the NatCon Organizing Committee and Mr. Mahesh Kabra of RR Global. Hemal, ladies and gentlemen, brings in extensive experience, more than 18 years in tax field. He has been specializing in M&A, private equity, also in the real estate space now for over 12 years. He has assisted several developers in structuring their projects from RERA and tax perspective. So as we are still struggling with RERA and certain tax issues, he's going to be the best advice coming from him. Our next speaker, Mr. Gaurav Karnik, the National Leader, Real Estate, EY India. And to welcome him here on the stage, we'd like to request and invite Mr. Deepak Patel from the NatCon Organizing Committee, along with Mr. Rakesh Shah of CMC. So all our speakers, ladies and gentlemen, having almost 2 decades of extensive experience in the field of taxation. As we have Gaurav here on the stage, he brings in extensive experience in taxation, in regulatory matters, international taxation. He has been involved with various companies and also been representing on GST and REITs to the Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Our next speaker, Mr. Bhairav Dalal, the leader, Real Estate Tax, PwC India. To welcome him, I would like to invite here Mr. Arun Sharma from NITCO Limited and Mr. Sandeep Patel from the NatCon Organizing Committee. Bhairav has been again advising the Indian and the multinational companies in the area of real estate, infrastructure, private equity. He has been extensively also involved in discussions with the industry and the regulators on REITs and InvITs. And so again, he has experience of more than a decade, almost 13 years of experience. With that, once again requesting you all kindly be seated. We are starting with this session, a panel discussion from small to large enterprises, scaling up your businesses, and I hand over to Mr. Magar for the proceedings. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
See, today, this is the last technical session we are into, and after that, you have a blockbuster session. A lot of people have flights, so we'll not take much time. I will straight away go to this eminent panel we have. As you all know, we have Hemal Mehta from Deloitte, Gaurav Karnik from EY, and Bhairav Dalal from PwC. So the basic question which we have, and we did have a pre-meeting just now, and the whole thought process which just comes, the theme of the session is to grow large from small. So whether it is to grow your business, to grow your organization, or grow in your structure. Because we are now moving from a non-compliant, sort of non-compliant industry to a more compliant industry. We have RERA and GST, which is making us things do differently. So Hemal, what is your take on this? What do you think we should be doing in the days to come?
So certainly we are talking about a time when we are moving from an unorganized sector to organized sector. We are planning to actually scale up high. So one of the critical points which we look from the investor's perspective, from a growth perspective, is the discipline which we require in our business. When I say discipline, I'm not talking only about execution discipline. There's a lot of things which we talk about. One is a corporate governance. I think any international investor, any domestic investor, when he's putting money in your project, corporate governance becomes very key for him, and the MIS. So having a right structure, having a right corporate governance, having a right MIS, and a mindset to make sure that we are actually in a changing phases of time where RERA, GST is going to make sure that we cannot function the way we were functioning earlier. We really require to think of functioning like a manufacturing company. Or my favorite example is like selling a Mercedes car, where we really require to have technology with us, invest in a product, have a fancy showroom, and then sell the car. Probably real estate is much better, or we are not going to that extreme, but a lot of things requires to put in system.
Yes, Gaurav, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I would say what Hemal is saying, but a couple of points I just want to make. One, I think we have to have a transparent structure. So that trust has to be built in. So whatever structure that we have in the form of a company, etc., we should have a clear structure on who the owner is. The ownership should not be complicated. It should be a pretty simple structure. Second is corporate governance is very important. Processes are extremely important. The more proper accounts we have, proper processes, standard operating procedures, those are some of the things which will really make it grow. And I think thirdly, it's also important that we are, if we're going to partner with anybody, we really have to show the partnership spirit, because only when you have that can you grow together with the person who's funding you, whether it's on a loan side or on an equity side. I think these are some of the points that we need to keep in mind. But last but not least is also in our organizations, we should definitely have a second line of people who can run it and have it professionally managed. Because as an owner, you can't own company, run company, do everything every day. You will never grow that way, and therefore it's really important that you build a second line of people who are able to take these processes forward and run the company. And it's not just owner-driven companies which we are looking at.
Pero with all these compliances which are now coming in, and with the whole digital things going on, and when we were just discussing, you said probably there'll be one authority which will tax everyone in days to come. Can you enlighten our members more on this?
Yeah, sure. So the way we are going, we're pretty much seeing disruption in every sector, and our belief is about 10 years down the line, the whole tax authorities will also have a big disruption, and you'll then have a single authority looking at you from a GST perspective as well as from a tax perspective. There'll be one person sitting over there who will have complete view on all your processes, how you are earning your income, all your taxes, everything. So if you think that is the kind of disruption that will be there in the market, you have to start planning for that from today.
See, today we are in an era where we have GST and we have RERA. So with GST, the buyer does not want to take a decision till it gets completed because he doesn't want to pay that 12%. RERA forces us to complete the project because the timelines which we have declared. Now this is becoming a big problem for all the developers across the country. We have majority of us who are from tier 2, tier 3 cities. For tier 1, yes, private equity can be looked at because people look at only tier 1 cities, but they don't go to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. With this increase on the requirement of finance and the funding requirement, what do you advise our members the way forward on this aspect?
I think the point already was made on transparency. As far as investors are concerned, their basic thing is transparency. And stick to your commitments in terms of getting the approval timelines and getting the cash flow management in place. I think once that is there, that's a good start. And then you have your organization structure, and as Gaurav also said, you need to have an organization structure and an internal team structure in place, because these investors want to see the level of sophistication from the tier 2, tier 3 developers, which to some extent is already there in tier 1 developers.
Yes, Gaurav?
Yeah, I would agree with what Bhairav was saying. Just one more point. I think what is important is that we should not overcommit and underdeliver. It's better to undercommit and then deliver what we have to. So specifically with regard to approvals, things like that, we always say that we can get it done in 3 months, 4 months, when it actually may take a year. So it's better to be realistic in our expectations and how we set it with our investors. Secondly, keeping in mind that we have RERA, GST, like you said. there is a lot of emphasis on compliance as well as completing projects. So sometimes you will have to think out of the box and maybe look into partnerships and get into a joint venture or things like that. And that may really help also.
So do you think JVs and collaborations is going to be the future course in the years to come?
So one of the point is that certainly gives a growth engine. Just going back to the previous question, I wanted to share one comment on tier 2, tier 3 developers. I know they are sitting in a large gathering here. It is a time where metamorphic change probably is required in the business. Now, going to the point of JV or funding, private equity, joint venture, what do we talk about? Unless we don't go through that metamorphic change of coming out of how we used to do business till today and how we are supposed to do business tomorrow onwards with RERA, GST, many other compliance on our head, with a corporate governance model, transparency, things are very difficult for tier 2, tier 3 developers to really come up to tier 1. So I think that is one point. On your point, sir, on the joint venture or private equity, it certainly gives you the additional funding backup, which today is not available from a banking system for construction, say for example, or for acquisition of land. So that model is going to survive. In fact, if you see in last 6 months or last 1 year time, the NBFC funding has really grown up. Only because that's the source of fund which is going to fuel your growth engine. Now the real point is that how are we going to use that fuel is a critical one. I think the panel was before us, they probably said in so many words that what they look at it to use that fuel. I think that's what probably is the growth story going to be.
But at the end of the day, how do we get money? I mean, the balance sheets are weak because we have different SPVs for different projects. So we need to build balance sheets. So what could you advise our people on how should they look forward to build a healthy balance sheet?
So I think one of the more important parts is that you're right. A lot of land projects are held in different SPVs. But from a liability perspective or from a cash flow perspective, when the investor looks at it, a lot of the private equity or even the lenders are going more on a project basis. From a RERA perspective, maybe you would like to put it all together so that the cash flows can supplement each other. But that really doesn't help from a person who's investing money to get an IRR return or getting a loan return on that. What he needs is clarity and sight on the cash flows. So from that extent, maybe separate projects and separate SPV is fine. But I think what is important is also that along with having a project in one SPV, things like title to land is clear, ownership of the SPV is clear, and there are no other discrepancies there. That sort of thing helps a financer to look at the project clearly and have a line of sight on the revenue, and therefore to be able to fund it and to be able to partner in a better and effective manner.
Yes, Bhairav, anything on this?
So I think again, the trend has already started. JV collaboration will have to be the way forward. You will have to come up with joint ventures which make more sense between developers and financiers. The general jargon that we use is platform structures. So you have to create a platform where someone is ready to write you a big check, but he's not going to just write and give it to you. He will be involved. You need to have a structure where he can be involved with you throughout the growth phase. So you should be ready for that. It's a marriage of sorts. It's not just you taking money from a bank and then doing whatever you want with that.
See, what we have seen lately is that all the financial institutes want to fund people who really don't need the money. But there's a vast number which actually needs the money. What is your advice to those fellow developers of ours who actually need the financial background, but these people don't want to join with? So what we need to do to improve ourselves, to bring in changes within us, those we have already mentioned about transparency and structuring, but what more, that extra mile effort which is required from our side so that these people can come on with us.
So just one point, I mean, we keep hearing this, but actually the reality is people are ready to give money to people who have graduated to that level. Now, since they've graduated, they don't need the money, but it's not that the financiers are only chasing people who don't need money. It's really the people who have graduated, and that's really the inspiration which everyone should drive here from, that At the end of the day, why do people are chasing them? Because they've grown to a particular size, they've been professional in their management, they have taken up among themselves to first get everything cleaned up and reach a particular level. Sorry.
So I would like to share one or two experiences. Maybe it may be relevant. It is a chicken and egg position. What comes first, whether money, and if you want money, how do we actually put our business model? Now, I'll just share an experience of one of my clients in Chennai. He was a criminal lawyer. He moved to become a developer. So I'm sure he must have fought many cases in his life. 20 years of a life he practices like that. And after that, he went to a real estate development with no land bank. He signed up a land parcel, got the investor, but made sure that 110% focus is only one project, clean the project, completed the project before the deadlines, return the money to the investor before the deadline with a slightly better return. The key point in his case was, and maybe it's a step to success, is that his MIS and his way of managing the entire process was outstanding. This investor actually opened a checkbook to him saying that I'm giving you a right of first refusal. Up to $35 million come to me, which was a big upside for him. Life changed for him. Right? He comes from tier 3, tier 4 city, went to Chennai, started a job. Now he's doing something in, say, Panoli, which is like a Chennai-Delhi route which has been opening up. Point is that there are people who will back up this kind of people, but how many of us are really thinking of doing like this? That's a question.
Yeah, I think just to reiterate the point, I think it's clearly the process and the transparency which really attracts the investor. It's not that people don't want to give money to those who need it, but for them to be able to lend and to be able to satisfy their own internal corporate governance, they really need to get into those companies which actually have a process which can actually throw up the results and can be monitored. So that's really important before we really get into the funding, is to actually put your house in order and to be able to get the sort of funding.
See, historically, we had bookings in advance. We had more money coming in advance. Now with RERA, everything is coming to percentages which are prescribed by law. So what, in the end, we need to have healthy balance sheets. And we do earn a lot of money, but probably we don't have a healthy balance sheet which is required for any financial institution or for any corporate entity to lend to us. What would be your advice on how do we actually gradually build a healthy balance sheet?
So I think on a lighter note, the habit that needs to change is whenever there's a funding requirement, the instant reaction is yahan se de do. Right? That's a very instant reaction. Ye account se de do, ye account se de do. I think that is where the mindset needs to change. Cash flow management is going to be extremely critical. That's the only way you can build a healthy balance sheet. You have to manage your cash flows. You have to predict, be as close to your planning as possible.
Just one minute before. I have a request to all those people who are there. I know you have done a lot of work for the last 2 days. Can you just keep quiet for some time? The entire, where that big billboard is there. Please, just a small request. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think one of them, financial discipline, that's really important. To build the balance sheet, that's most important. We have this habit of taking one loan to service another loan and a third loan and a fourth loan. That really will not work. And especially with the IBC, with the new laws coming in the IBC and the home buyers becoming financial creditors, there's a high risk that a company can be taken to the IRP. So there has to be financial discipline. You have to be able to predict the cash flows, not overestimate things, and focus project by project. And the whole idea is to create assets and a long-term vision. It's not, if you look like Hemal had said, what we are looking at is an industrial focus to real estate. So you want to become like a manufacturing company. You don't want to be just here for today and not there tomorrow. So what you're trying to create is really a legacy. So therefore financial discipline is important and ability to predict cash flows accurately.
Yes, Hemal?
So we probably, all three of us, we go back to our basic days. The cardinal principle of balance sheet, what we realized was that I want a thick profit and loss account and a thin balance sheet. This was our cardinal principle we all studied, right? And when we were in our articleship period. coming back to the balance sheet size, the point really is that I can only have thick profit and loss account and thin balance sheet if my cash flow management is excellent. I think without that, it's very difficult to do this balance sheet. Rest what depends is on consolidation. So as Gaurav and Bhairav rightly put down, in real estate, it's a very different business than any other businesses. So I will have a different model for residential, different for commercial, different for retail, hospitality, warehousing, etc., etc. What really depends is how do I consolidate the returns of my share in my parent company. That's critical. Keeping in mind that I have a lender obligation. If I actually get a lender in my parent company, he will actually have a charge on many other assets. I have that issue. We also have an issue from the investor saying that he would like to actually restrict his exposure to only the project which he's coming into. So there are multiple models which are there, which are multiple things which are playing around. So somewhere we really recall think through how we're going to consolidate our own benefits or our own returns in a parent company, which is going to give me that size to get investor to do other projects at a SPV level. I think that's the model broadly.
See, today, most of us have an aspiration to list our companies. So every real estate developer who comes to some size feels that, he should list his company, get in a lot of public money in, and have a good life thereafter. Do you actually recommend us doing this, or we still should go on to our conventional system?
So my question, sir, is that there are few developers who are sitting here, they have got listed companies.
They are good developers.
They are good developers. Everybody is good in this room. I think there is no two views. The question really is that I don't know whether they have concurred with this view that they have got a good life after listing. That's a question mark. Right? So anyway, so on a lighter note.
The other side of the fence always feels that they're having a good
time. Absolutely. So I think the point on listing is that certainly it's one of the option of raising money and a large capital to manage. But I think the real issue is that listing and raising money is one. And managing the expectation of investors who are retail investors, financial institutions is another one. Of late, we have realized that the experience has been that a lot of time, the senior management actually spends a lot of time to manage the market expectations and the what do I call the capital market actually management rather than concentrating on business. And that's where I think there are a lot of gaps which arise between the expectation of investor and the company's business. So it's very important to really analyze that before hitting that listing option, whether our business is ready and the senior manager is really ready to manage clients or investors' expectation, because we have to appreciate that investors are intelligent. We just cannot play around with them, because once we play around with us, they will break the image so badly that it's very difficult to come back. I think that's the key point.
Listing, brings along with it a number of challenges on the compliance side. There's a high cost of compliance. There's a lot of management time spent on compliance. The second part is that, a listed company works on a quarter-to-quarter basis. So every quarter you have to, give results and, they manage investor expectations. That is pretty difficult in a real estate scenario to be able to, show sales velocity, income coming out. It's okay if you have a bunch of retail assets or commercial assets which have rentals. So you can actually show income flows through the year and you can manage those expectations. But when you're in a residential business, along with the new accounting guidelines which are there where you cannot really recognize revenue on a POCM or a percentage of completion method, and it's now moving to completed method, it becomes very difficult to manage investor expectations. So both from actually a result perspective, compliance perspective, it's not as simple as one thinks. Secondly, if you're a listed company and then you pledge stock to take loans, and if the value of the stock keeps going down, the collateral keeps going up, and that has its own set of problems. So listing is something you have to really think through. It's not just because you become large that you should go in for listing. You have to keep in mind the way you have to manage investors' expectations and results on a quarter-to-quarter basis is not as simple. It may be easy for an FMCG company to be able to do that, but real estate is a different business. But unfortunately, the retail investors, they don't differentiate and they don't give value to the assets. They still look in from an FMCG perspective.
So,
आपके लिए नहीं पूछा मैंने.
So in one word, what both of them are saying, and the very few times where three firms like us have a common view, the answer is no. Listing is not the right thing for real estate sector as such.
But do you realize you are losing business in that?
No, I don't think so. We're losing business. I think we will always be in business if we give the right advice. That's a different thing. If you focus on building the brand and the healthy balance sheet, listing is not going to give you anything extra beyond your stock listed on the market and you getting blood pressure every day it goes down.
We have some time for question answers. Do we have any questions for this panel?
No, it's a very good question. Very, very good question. So, just to answer your question, when we say cash flow management, I tell you the real problem is this. From the eyesight of a foreign investor or a seasoned investor, they want to make sure that you really have a time chart available for every activity. I am aware that most developers, again, it's not against saying against anybody, but most developers, we don't have that discipline to actually adhere to timelines. So it is not a question of cash flow management based on what cash flow you have. It's a question that when do you really require to spend that money and what is the shortest time in which the spending of money and getting a return, not in terms of returns in terms of interest, but in terms of getting work done, is managed efficiently. I think that's what we are talking about. The feedback from the investor fraternity or professionals who are looking at opposite side, say one of us who probably are going to invest, advise the investors, they'll always look at the ability of managing things in the right time. I think that is where we are coming to talking about the cash flow management and the time management of a project, which now RERA has actually put a pressure on all the developers. That if you don't know how to manage it, this is how you should do it. Sir, I will support you, but I'm not sure investor will support.
Yeah, I think cash flow management is not just how much cash is coming in. It's also the ability to manage the costs. So it's both sides of the story. It's not just revenue side. It's also the cost side. And the second is, of course, the investors are sympathetic to the fact that it is real estate. It's not as liquid as selling soap. But the fact is that we also don't have that discipline to be able to predict some of the sales. We overestimate sales velocity many times, that this project will be sold in 3 months, 4 months, and we will get these cash flows. So that ability to estimate, it's better to be honest and say that it'll take longer to service this loan than to promise something and not get that done. That really creates more doubt.
But I think the point is very valid. If you're managing your cash flow absolutely well, you actually don't need investors.
So are the recent reforms in real estate creating a platform for the VC funds, the PE funds, the sovereign funds, the FDI to pump in billions of dollars into the Indian real estate industry? Thereby we see East India companies in every nook and corner of the country.
Should you answer that question?
Yeah, so I think the investors are here with a big checkbook. They want to help you grow. In that, they also want to make a return. But I don't think so. They are here to take away your projects. But in that sense, it's important that you partner with the right person with the right mindset.
Yeah, I don't think there's a geopolitical message from the investors. They are basically looking to get returns. And returns are both for both you and them. So, they do get into joint ventures, not that they buy you out 100%. So, it's a both, it works. There's discipline. So, obviously, you got to give them the return as well. And that obviously has its own concerns.
Sir, abhi jo rules regulations aaye hai.
He's been waiting for long. I'll ask him and then I'll come back to you. Navi Mumbai asks too many questions, but that others also have a chance.
Nowadays, we see the trend of underwriting. the projects. Investor, instead of becoming an equity partner or waiting for the sales, they will underwrite the project at a fixed cost, which is de-risking the builder as well as the investor actually. And the sale price will be fixed ahead of project, and then builder has no risk of sales or finance cost. So how do you think this structuring can be done for the projects? It is happening already in Hyderabad, I know. Do you think it's a good model?
So the point is that this industry, the underwriting concept actually has come from other businesses, right? Where there was a issue of certainty. So let's for an example take Bollywood world, film industries, similar business model, right? Because they have also grown from unorganized to now quite organized sector. So this concepts come from that. So economics says that any business where there is uncertainty is underwrite the risk so that you can manage your risk. The point, sir, is this, that when you underwrite a risk, right, the investor is technically tying up your hands and legs to say that you can't move beyond a particular angle. That's the point. It works both ways. It's good for inculcating the discipline of functioning, and on other way, you are probably de-risking your investments. Works well. The point really is, suppose you and me have to talk, if I am a developer, would I really require to get into that belt? Or I would like to have a self-discipline to make sure that investors don't talk to me about underwriting, because they know that my past experience and the past results have actually shown the results that I am disciplined. I think that's where we really require to think through. I am not talking about what business commercials have been done. Commercials, agar requirement hai, we will do it. But the real point is that do I really require to have a self-discipline to manage the way I want to manage? That's the point.
Yeah, so I think underwriting is not bad. It's at the end of it, both the players are trying to maximize the profits. So whatever works to kind of maximize profits is good. Of course, there are those, they will put certain limits on what the sale price, or you can't go below a certain sale price. But in a way that brings in discipline, and the chances of you getting the result that you're looking for are higher in case you underwrite it.
Dada here, yes. Okay, I have a question to Dada as well as the expert tax guys. We say consolidate, do more JVs. I've been trying to do 3 JVs for last 1 year. The GST, stamp duty, those impact are so high that as a landlord, I get 1 rupee and the tax goes out on day 1, which is 5 or 7 rupees. Right? So there is such a big analogy of how GST is payable on day 1. So is there any which ways that you've been able to do a JV transaction where the transaction cost is very reasonable? I haven't been seeing JVs in last 1 year, ever since GST been put up.
No, I know this is a practical issue. And 3 of us actually yesterday, we sat for 1 hour to think through that what we are going to talk on GST. Right? The point really is that your point is absolutely apt. It is becoming a hurdle for closing the deals. It is becoming a hurdle. There is no two views about it. Now again, it depends that which part of country you are actually doing your structures, and how a local people think there. What is a local view? Because there are, if you ask me a view, honestly, I don't have one clear view saying that this is the way to go for addressing the GST issue or stamp duty issue, etc., etc. But point is right. It is becoming a hurdle in closing JDs or JVs, etc., etc. So it's a fact-specific case to my mind. I think before I talk about some generic points, I would like to really think through how we can actually address this issue.
No, not a particular fact. I'm saying since the president-elect is here, the whole idea, we spoke for 2 days that there has to be consolidation, RERA will remove the people, less people, serious people. Point is, how does one take over a project? How does JVs happen when the cost of JV is so high? And I'm not talking about the commercials between the developer and the landowner. Only the Piramals and the L&Ts of the world can give the transaction cost. So
yeah,
how will consolidation happen?
What we will need to do is we need to lobby with the finance minister. Your point is well taken, because I will be one of the worst hit person in that. So we will take that point. We will work hard on this, and we will see to that we get some relief. We will take the help of the entire panel also, their expertise in doing it. So don't worry, Nanesh, we'll work something for you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we are done with the time. I thank all of you to be here today and to enlighten us on this changing scenario in real estate, because I think we are moving towards a more structured and compliant industry. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to all our panelists. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we approach the last session. This is going to be the closing session, the summing up. No, we have Anil Kapoor. That's going to be the mega last session. But before that, our thanks to all once again, to our sponsors for all the support which they have extended, supporting us. And we are sure that the association which we have formed and developed with them, that's going to be continuing further. So they're AVs before we move to the last session.
The Kohler has found that with Manchester United. Hey, I'm announcing a global partnership over here. Follow the excitement online at kohlerunited.com.